is the biggest reason Georgia won this one?
Alabama didn't capitalize on opportunities. Skip, they had 6 drives that reached at least the Georgia 30-yard line, and they attempted 5 field goals. They made 4 of those. And when you're playing a team of Georgia caliber, you can't afford to do that, especially when you're having the success against that kind of the defense that they possess. They're big, they're fast, they're strong, they're physical, they're a dominant defense. And Bryce Young did a great job. The rest that he was under, Skip, the hits that he took, and delivering the ball in which he was delivering it, he didn't get a whole lot to show for it. Skip, I'm going to discount the last 60 yards because that was in a 2-minute situation. They're behind and they're trying to catch up. But the first 300 yards that he got, Skip, he earned every last one of them. And in a game of this magnitude, Skip, I can give you a play, and it can be 100 words long. But at the end of that play, I just need to know, did somebody make a play?
Yep.
And there were opportunities. Latu had an opportunity to Skip. He gets the run. He runs down. The guy overruns it. He takes off, chases him down. Skip, you get the ball on the 5-yard line, and you come away with a field goal.
Yep.
He gets an opportunity to he gets an opportunity to score a touchdown. He drops it in the end zone. You settle for a field goal. They're just playing guys, Skip, that hadn't played a lot, and I'm not so sure. They might turn around, but normally when you see Alabama and they play freshmen, I think of Devontae Smith. I think of Jerry Jeudy. I think of guys of those names, Skip.
Yeah.
Those guys made plays, and last night they didn't make plays. And give Georgia credit, Skip. I said you got to make this a Stetson Bennett game for the entirety of the game.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they break off the long run. Cooks have one. The other guy has one. And now all of a sudden you allow Stetson Bennett the fourth to relax. 2nd and 18. You know you bring in pressure. The DB gets beat twice. He holds on one. Okay, no problem. You don't want to give up the deep play. Skip, but when you come in pressure, you can't let the guy get behind you.
Yep.
So it was the opportunities. But even though Alabama didn't catch the opportunities, give Georgia credit. Because they got down to the 30-yard line, they bowed their backs, Skip. They bowed their backs, and they said, you are not getting this ball in the end zone. And on that 2-point play, it was very evident. Against everybody else, Bryce Young gets the corner, Skip. That's a 2-point play. Now they're up by 7.
Yep.
I don't know how that guy tracked him because he lost contain and still was able to track down Bryce Young before he got to the pylon. So for me, Skip, Bryce Young played well. When Jamison Williams went down, Skip, you could kind of feel like, I don't know now. You lose Mechie, you lose Jamison Williams. Now you playing with Trayshawn Holden, I think it said, Ujai Hall.
Yep.
Skip, Ja'Cory Brooks. You're playing with guys, true freshmen, guys that haven't played a whole lot, and I'm not so sure Coach Saban is counting on those guys contributing. But Bryce Young, give him credit. He stood in there. But I think Georgia won the game. Alabama had opportunities. But Georgia, in order for you to have somebody to have opportunities, someone had to take those opportunities away. And Georgia did a good job of taking those opportunities away. Kudos to the Bulldogs. They earned this one.
They did. And I was so happy for them and Kirby Smart in their tradition and everybody involved over the last 41 years who has not been able to participate in the national championship because it's been one of the dominant programs in the country and didn't have anything to really show for it since Herschel Walker and
in 1980. It was his freshman year, actually.
Yeah, it actually was. Okay. I was happy for them that I think they proved last night what they actually proved the whole year. The reason I did pick them to beat Michigan, I did pick them last night, was I thought they were the best team all year long. I'm not talking about for 2 or 3 games. I'm talking for the whole SEC schedule. By the way, the same schedule that Lincoln Riley, stinking Lincoln, ran from and went to USC because he said, I don't want any part of that, right?
They loaded in this game.
They are loaded, and they're picked again. As we speak, those two are picked again to be 1-2-2-1 next year in the race. Okay. Think about what Georgia did during the year. They won their SEC games by an average of 32 points a game. I watched them against my Vanderbilt Commodores, and they had a tough rebuilding year, but it was so over at halftime. I think it was 32-0 at halftime, and I don't want to tell you what the final score was because it was just embarrassing. But the point was they were a steamroller on both sides of the ball.
Yes.
And if you look at what Alabama did through its SEC schedule, it struggled with just about everybody. It won its SEC games by a total average of 13 a game. So 32 a game average for Georgia versus 13 a game for Alabama. And Alabama lost on a fateful Saturday evening in College Station to A&M. And it looked like that was going to haunt them until they got to the SEC championship game. But the point was that Georgia dominated, and you could make a case, you would have made a case, if they could have beaten Alabama in the SEC championship game, you would have been saying, you'd make the case this is all-time great.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Especially on the defensive side.
Yes, yes.
But you know and I know what happened in the SEC championship game. The roof fell in on them, and Bryce Young, the Heisman winner, fell on them. He hadn't won it yet, but he fell in on them.
He solidified it with that performance.
He won it. He ran away with it. But remember, he was within one throw of losing the Heisman and them losing the whole year against Auburn in the Iron Bowl. It's 10-3 Auburn with seconds left in regulation.
Yep.
And he hit Ja'Cory Brooks, who became the featured star last night as a true freshman because he was it.
Right.
But the point was, what a catch, what a throw, and what a catch that was to save the game and get it to overtime that they finally prevailed in, 3 overtimes against Auburn. Okay, well, Georgia crushed all these teams, all the teams that Alabama struggled with. So I was just happy for them last night because here's the God's truth. Georgia's just a little bit better than Alabama is.
Oh, yeah, they were. Yeah, player for player, absolutely.
Just player for player, all the way across the board. And obviously, in the big picture, I'll take Bryce Young over Stetson Bennett.
Right.
But last night, I thought Stetson slightly outplayed Bryce. And the reason Stetson did it last night was I think they just drummed in his head for how many weeks? What was it, 3 weeks to get ready for this? I think they pounded into his psyche, just don't turn it over. If you turn it over 4 times against Alabama, we will lose.
You're losing.
And remember, he's a former walk-on. He had to go to junior college in Mississippi for a brief stint.
He's from near where I grew up at, Skip. I grew up in Glenville. He grew up in Blackshear, Pierce County, which is about 45 minutes to an hour away from me.
Okay, got it. But he had no business. When this season started, he was 4th on the depth chart. When they beat Clemson 10-3, he was nowhere to be seen. Nobody even thought about Stetson Bennett. What is he, the 4th?
The 4th.
Okay, so for him to get through this game unscathed, because you don't think he was under just as much heat.
Oh, that was coming.
They were all after.
Yeah, they blitzed him the first play of the game.
First play of the game. And to his credit, he just hung in. And when he didn't have it, he threw it out of bounds.
Right.
He got one grounding call. And then if we could see the one they called fumble, I did not think this was a fumble, but I also thought that Alabama had just won the football game. This is 11:52 left in the 4th. He goes back and they're all over him again. And I thought his hand was coming forward with football in it. And because he's being yanked down, the football went straight up. But that's a forward pass to me. That's just me. And then we saw the Alabama play.
He just like,
casually like, oh, well, the play's over. Ho-hum, nonchalant. And it became, whoops, it's your ball. And here you go.
Right.
And then I thought Bryce Young made the throw of the night for him on the rollout pass to the tight end that cashed in on this. This is sweet now. This is hard because they're all over him, and he throws it across his body, Aaron Rodgers-like, back to Devontae, except it's to the tight end. And it's a beautiful play. And I thought at that point, because what did that make it, 18-13 Alabama, I just felt like the whole the Indy sky is about to fall on them, right? Because Alabama owns them psychologically, and I just thought, okay, what do you got now? Because I'm afraid you're going to unravel. This was the classic moment that Stetson Bennett IV turns back into a pumpkin. And he throws one to Alabama, and they return it for a touchdown, and the game is over. Okay, could we see then what Stetson Bennett IV proceeded to do to answer that? It was spectacular. Here's the first throw. Okay, that's pretty good. He's got a nice arm. He's got a nice arm, really. And
this is okay. Okay, Skip, I get that. The guy double move you. You hold him. Okay, no problem.
He had to grab
Skip.
him. Okay, and then we're going back again. I know we're not going to show that again. I got you. And then here's the one.
This is the one right here.
No,
he got
that's the sack.
Okay,
so now it looks like you're dead to rights, and then they're offside. So he's got sort of a free play, and he throws it up to Adonai Mitchell, and it's ball game turnaround because that was his throw of the night, right? Okay, so that makes it 19-18 because they went for 2 and missed it. But you just felt like all of a sudden Georgia said no. We refuse. And then the statement came on then they go Alabama went 3 and out, and then the statement drive came the next one when they didn't throw it. They started to run it. And Zeus White, he just starts hammering away, and they go runs. They go 4, 7, 5, 7. Then they got a pass interference, and then 7, and then that Brock Bowers kid. You want to talk about a young stud?
He gonna be legit. He's real.
Oh
a true freshman.
A true freshman
From out here in California.
Yeah, from Northern California. And here's the little flip to him. And watch the takeoff. Yeah, this is a quote-unquote tight end. I don't even know what you call him. He's some hybrid.
Yep.
You know, your basic, like 6'4", 260, who can run 4.5.
Well, the defense would probably list him as an F, call him a flyer.
Yeah.
Because he's in between a tight end and a wide receiver.
He is. Well, you can just see the burst that he has.
Yeah.
He's difficult. They actually did a nice job on him.
They did.
But that was it. And then I thought Kirby Smart might have blown it right there because there was a personal foul, a roughing the passer. Well, they could have had it at the 1 to go for 2 to ice it. And instead, he just
on the kickoff.
Took it on the kickoff, but then the pick 6 occurred.
Right.
So anyway, the point is, I just thought, to your point, yeah, look, Alabama had the ball 3 times. They had 3 first downs inside the Georgia 20 early on. They had 2 first downs inside the 10, and those all cashed with only 3s.
Right.
Okay, 3, 3, 3.
Well, Skip, you remember the one drive, they had a 17-play drive that end up in no points because the guy dropped it on 3rd down, and then you get the field goal block. So now you just had 17 plays, which is so, Skip, you know them long drives. You're like, ooh, we just pounding them. We doing what we want to do, and we got to pay it off with something. You love to play it off with a touchdown, but at least pay it off with something. You paid this off with nothing. Georgia has to feel unbelievable. And you're right. I remember I texted my brother. I said, Georgia's starting to wear them down because, Skip, when they were at first, those runs that we're talking about, they went for no gain. Now, all of a sudden, the no gains went for 4 yards. The 4 yards going for 10 yards. And the next thing you know, you see James Cook break out for 61. You see the other guy. Now all of a sudden, Stetson Bennett. So now we go play action. Safety's got to get nosy because, Skip, now all of a sudden our front 7 can't handle it. I got to put my nose into it. Now we're isolating these young corners. I think both of them are like freshmen or one's a sophomore. Now you're isolating those guys. And the difference is, Skip, if you look at last night, Georgia's receivers made every throw, every catch that touched their hands, they came down with it. Alabama, that did not happen.
Bryce had one deep ball that should have been caught.
Yes.
He just got his hand on it and couldn't hang on.
Brooks did bring the other hand. But Skip, on that 3rd down, 84, Hall has it. I don't know. Skip, he jumps to catch a ball over the shoulder, and he should have caught it like this. He jumps to catch it like this. I'm like, bro, how do you got your hands?
I don't know.
Look at this. Skip, he I was like, bro, I don't know how you got your hand. Skip, that's an over-the-shoulder catch.
It is. But to Georgia's credit, they turned their scheme upside down because they were a zone-heavy team, and they just said, we got to go man, and we got to send people after him.
They were doing a lot of twisting. They brought a lot of pressure. Because, Skip, here's the thing. They normally can get home with 4. Just those 4. They got some studs. Their 4 D linemen, they all playing on Sunday. Those linebackers, they're all playing on Sunday. Even the backup that don't start, they're going to be playing on Sunday. Kirby Smart, I don't know what Coach Saban might have gave him too much of the sauce because he knows how to go to people, how to go to mama's house and sit on the couch and eat fried catfish and get them too, Skip, because he loaded. That defense is loaded.
So I never thought I would see the championship night that a Nick Saban team would have to throw it 57 times because it ran it for a total of, and this includes the minus sack yards, but its rushing total was 42 yards for this game. 57 passes to 42 rush yards. I never thought I would see that.
Oh, I knew they were going to do that because you're not running Georgia. You're not going to run the ball on them. I thought they ran it. The only one call that I really had a problem with, I thought on 2nd and 1, Skip, they should have just run the football and got the first down. Bill O'Brien tried to do like an RPO.
He did.
But in a situation like that, just line up and say, hey, hand the ball off to Robinson Jr., and let's get the first down, and let's get a new set of downs, and let's go play football after that. But Georgia's not going to allow you to play football, and that's what they did the last time against in the SEC championship. You spread them out. If you notice, Skip, when they were going tempo, Georgia big guys started getting fatigued. So Nick Saban says, okay, let's speed it up. Let's keep the tempo up. But in the process of doing that, you need to pay it off. You need to get the ball in the end zone, Skip.
You know, by the way, to your point quickly, Kirby Smart said in his first stand-up post-game interview on the field that we got, to quote him, pissed off about this idea that we were getting tired, wearing down. And I don't know if he heard that via TV because it became a TV theme that the Alabama sideline thinks that Georgia's wearing down.
Right.
And he said at halftime, it's like manhood's got challenged.
Oh, yeah.
Are we worn down and out now? Or are we
Right.
going to take a stand here?
Right.
Right.
And they bowled their back. Like I said, that defense and Stetson Bennett, like you said, once he turned the ball over, he didn't miss another throw. Guys came down with everything. Even he had to back out of the backfield. He bobbled it, and he came down with it. I was like, that's when you drop your head. It's like, you know what? It's not our night tonight.
Yep.
Give the young man credit, Skip. He's been heavily criticized. Guys will walk on. He was a fourth string, and he worked his way. And now, in a state that he grew up in, a team that he idolized, that he always wanted to play for, Skip, he's in lore. He's Buck Bellew. He's Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
Coach Kirby Smart is on the pantheon with Coach Dooley.
You got that right.
You know, I grew up in the state of Georgia. I know what Coach Dooley represents.
Yep, he was there last night.
He was there last night.
So here's the bottom line. In the second half last night, you love Alabama. You love Coach Saban. He's St. Nick to you. They got outscored 27-9 in the second half. They got outscored 20-9 in the fourth quarter. Okay, is that Ain't Nick or St. Nick?
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, they just started wearing down. Give Georgia credit. You got to make plays. In a game of this magnitude, Skip, I think that if you look at Tom, guys, no matter who comes in the game, Tyler Johnson comes in for AB. He makes plays. Brashard Perriman, who's bounced around the league, yes, he was a first-round pick. He makes plays. That's what it comes down to, Skip. It does not matter. I don't care how great your quarterback is or how great your head coach. It comes down to Jims and Joes making plays. The Jims on the Georgia Bulldogs side made plays. The Joes on the Alabama side, they didn't make plays. Now, this is a valuable learning experience going into next year. Next spring, spring is going to happen in about 2-3 months, Skip.
Yeah.
These guys got an opportunity to play in a national championship game, and it should bode well moving forward. But that's a big stage for a freshman. There's a reason why Devontae Smith, the guy was a true freshman, caught the game-winning touchdown against that team. And in his senior year becomes the Heisman and the most decorated wide receiver in college football history. That's not an accident, Skip. If you look at Alabama receivers, their young guys normally play early and play well. The Jerry Judys, the Devontae Smith, the Jalen Waddles, the Ruggs, all those guys, the Calvin Ridley, the Julios. This batch of wide receivers are not there yet. Not to say that they can't get there, but where they're starting from a little further behind than those guys did. I
will give you some excuse about no Mechie towards ACL in the SEC game. And then Jameson caught a big ball last night.
They had no answer. They was going to have no answer for him, Skip.
All right. So that was 4 catches so far for him. He could have made a difference. I still think Georgia was a little better. I still think there was a reason they were a 6-point favorite in the SEC championship game, and they were a 2.5-point favorite last night, which shocked a lot of people until you see the final score, 33-18, your home state team. Right?
Yeah, I mean, give George, Skip. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can say. I thought Alabama did a great job of pressuring Stetson Bennett early. First play of the game, they brought the gas and they sacked him. And so, okay, Coach Saban's like, we need to make this young guy uncomfortable. We don't want him to get a rhythm early. Let's try to put pressure on him. They did a great job of that. But once they broke off those 2 runs, now, Skip, that front 7 is not doing a great job of handling the run. It seemed like Georgia started to lean on them a little more. So now, Skip, I got to get my safeties involved. Well, if I'm getting my safeties involved, what does that mean? I'm isolating a true freshman and maybe a true sophomore on the edges by themselves against upper-class wide receivers from the University of Georgia.
Yes, you are. So, bottom line from last night, from what I saw of Stetson Bennett, I may be underselling him, but I think he could be a career, very valuable backup quarterback in the NFL. I do, because he's got some mobility to him, and he's got real savvy and poise and cleverness. He can see it and read it and flip it to the right place. And his arm is not bad. Yeah, I think so. You know what, Skip? He might get an invite to camp. I can see he's a little undersized. He did win a national championship at a major program. If I'm not mistaken, Skip, I didn't hear it. So, but he was player of the game, though, right? I assume he was. I never even heard either. But he had to be, right?
I'm assuming
he was
you're
the
right.
offensive player.
Offensive player of the game. And I think that DB, that he chased Latu down and he had a pick six. I know he was the defensive
He was
player
the
of the game.
defensive player of the game.
But he might, I think it's Skipper, you know what, you might be right. He'll probably get an invite to a camp somewhere.
Yeah, I
Who
could
knows?
see him
Maybe
being
the Falcons.
maybe like a 7th-round pick who could stick as a backup. So, but congratulations to him and them.
But
Boy,
good luck.
Such an incredible game. And for all the walk-ons, I speak for all the walk-ons. That was so impressive for Stetson. And what a game just that lived up to the hype. Guys, we enjoyed it, but we have a lot more to talk about today. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.